revered Maharaji, most respected Professor Amar Singh, my guru, faculty members, my lovely younger brothers and sisters, it's a matter of great satisfaction to find that youth convention is being celebrated here on an occasion of 150th birthday celebration, which is being celebrated throughout the country and throughout the world, of a man. To me, it is very doubtful whether he was a man or a superman or a superhuman being. A born youth, a living youth, who died as a youth. In fact, the topic that has been given to me has been touched by Maharaji. He has made the beginning of it by referring to that story, that happening, that incident, through which Swami came to know of the desire of Bhagwan Sri Ramakrishna that yes, Shiva Gyan se Jiva Seva is the call that he has to take. But before I come to that topic, I shall have to deal with 2 or 3 more matters. So that this sentence, Jiva, Seva and Shiva Gyan, all that becomes clear to you. I am here, Professor Amar Singh is here. There are persons who have served us by receiving us, by taking us to the guest house. Then there are persons who offered us beautiful tea, coffee, breakfast, dinner. They have all served us. I am here talking to you. Am I serving you? You are listening to me. Are you serving me? Am I touching you? Are you getting my feelings? If you are not getting my feelings, and if I cannot convey unto you the principle behind what Ramakrishna Paramahansa said, then I am failing in my duty. Shiva Gyan se Jiva Seva shall come in by receiving us, by taking us to the guest house. Then there are persons who offered us beautiful tea, coffee, breakfast, dinner. They have all served us. I am here talking to you. Am I serving you? You are listening to me. Are you serving me? Am I touching you? Are you getting my feelings? If you are not getting my feelings, and if I cannot convey unto you the principle behind what Ramakrishna Paramahansa said, then I am failing in my duty. Shiva Gyan se Jiva Seva shall come a little later. Let us see how Swami Vivekananda started his childhood and what happened to one of the incidents which has actually put me to think that what Ramakrishna said to Swamiji began in his mind when he was a child. You know, every one of you knows, Vishwanath Datta was a very good and big civil lawyer in those days. He used to come to Uttar Pradesh and then United Provinces, to Raipur, etc. Very many far-flung places to fight cases. And to Raipur, Swami Vivekananda as an Tat had gone along with his father. But in the chambers in Calcutta, when practice was at the top, his father had a consultation room. In that consultation room, clients used to come who belonged to different castes in Hindus and who belonged to different religions. Offering hookah was a very common thing. As everybody, even today we were talking, my colleague Professor Amar Singh was saying, look at India, when any Atithi comes, we offer something, have a piece of gold. If you go to Western districts, Meerut, Bulandshahr, Aligarh, they will immediately give you a glass of milk, a piece of gold, because that is something which is easily available there. If you go to Eastern UP, you will get satua, so and so forth. In Bengal, Calcutta, Nadu, Nagpur and Nadu, or Joynagar, Mua. These are the two types of things which generally are offered to persons who visit. And the Atithi means Atithi who has come without any Tithi, he has to be respected. He is Atithi. Now, in the chamber, hookahs were hung, hookahs. One hookah for Brahmin, another for caste, another for Hindu caste, another for Muslim, and so on and so forth. They were earmarked. Now, Narendranath asked his father, what is this house and why so many hookahs are hung here? Reply was, as I said, this is for so and so, this is for so and so, this is for so and so. He said, what will happen if only one hookah is offered to him? He said, he will lose his caste. उसकी जाति चली जाएगी, और जात चली जाएगी बाबा. And this struck his head. Father went to the court. Narendranath stealthily enters the chamber. He goes on smoking from one hookah to the other. Brahmin hookah, Thakur hookah, Scheduled caste hookah, Musalman hookah, every hookah he goes on smoking, touching by his lips, and then sits down. Then father comes, and father finds that Narendranath is sitting in the chamber, having done something. He says, "What did you do?" He said, "Father, I asked you, why so many hookahs?" You told me the answer. And I have tasted it. Now see, has my jati gone? Kindly tell me, has my jati gone? Look to this question, has my jati gone? Have I changed in any manner by smoking from those hookahs which was meant for somebody else? This query takes Vivekananda to what height? You see, you find it. When he becomes a youth, what happens to him? He starts searching. Why is so much difference in the society? Who has created this society? Who is the creator? God is the creator. Where is God? Search begins. This is youth. This is the youth of Swami Vivekananda. Who is the creator of this world? Where is that God who has created Thakur, who has created Brahmin, who has created scheduled caste, who has created Mohammedan? I will go to find out that God. Have you seen God? Mr. A. He says, "No, I have not seen God." B. Have you seen God? No. I'm sorry, I haven't seen God. I have read this, I have read that, I have read the Quran, I have read this. Oh, what's this? You have read it. Mr. C. Have you seen God? None says, "I have seen God." He goes to Vivekananda Tagore. Rabindranath's father, Rabindranath Tagore's father, Acharya Vivekananda Tagore, head of the Brahmo Samaj of Calcutta, sits at his feet. आपने की ईश्वर के देखे थे? आपने क्या ईश्वर को देखा है? Have you seen God? Look to the query. He is mad after this question. Right from hookah to God. How has his traveled? How has his thought traveled? Then Devannath says, looks at him. What is this question that he has put? What answer shall he give? He says, "You have wonderful eyes. You have the eyes of sage. You are going to become a very good sage." And he avoids the answer. Vivekananda gets up, leaves his house, starts running on the road. Then Maharajji has given to you what happens to him. He gets an idea that if somebody has to see what trance is, what samadhi is, then one will have to go to Ramakrishna Paramahansa. He is the only man whom I am seeing today as that professor, that he goes into trance. In joke or jocularly, illiterate Bengal peasants used to say, "Khone khone more, khone khone beche jaye." क्षण क्षण में जी जाता है, क्षण क्षण में मर जाता है. वही है, वही पुजारी है. They used to think that by going to trance he dies. Means he became motionless. Motionless in the trance when he used to go and travel. He would forget about his body. Body would lie in a state where no action takes place, not even breathe. This happens in Samadhi. When you will read more books on spiritualism, you will come to know how Nirvikalpa Samadhi is obtained. You will certainly know that, and you would like to attain it after you get the IIT degree, after you get money to money, win, and then this chance may come to you. Not now. So, that search takes Vivekananda to Ramakrishna Mission. One question. अपने की भगवान का देखे छे question, one question. Have you seen God? Tell me, have you seen God? Seen with the eyes, experimentation, own experience, laboratory experience. Have you done it? If yes, say, that man had the courage, that man has the reality, that man has the truth in him to say, yes, I have the kitchen. हाँ मैंने देखा है. Yes, I have seen God. How have you seen God? Just as I am seeing you, I have seen God. Just as I am seeing you. In the same manner I have seen God. And not only that, what further he says? I mean, don't you that? I can show God to you also. This Swami Vivekananda was taken back. Narendra was taken back. Here is this Pujari. He says, he has seen God. Here is one man who is saying that I have seen God. Then I leave the history. How he comes to Thakur. Thakur means Ramakrishna Paramahansa. And says, Thakur, I want to see. Go. There is Mahakali, Avatarti Murti, go there. Why you just want? What do you want? He was in dire necessity. Father has died, litigation is going on, no money, no penny, nothing to eat, nothing to wear, entire family, big family, brothers, sisters, litigation going on, all the relatives have started the cases against him. He's going to lose his property, one house, and that also is going to lose. What should he do? Go to Mother Kali, ask her, she will do. He proceeds, goes there. But he was not believer in Mother Kali. Narendra never believed in Mahakali. He never believed in Mahakali. He did not believe all this. After seeing there, he comes back to Thakur again and says, what happened? You went there and came back, could not beg of all those things from the mother? Peja. Go again. This time you must ask. Ask her, she will give you. Second time Swamiji goes. Looks to the mother. Comes back. Again, Thakur, I could not demand anything from the mother. Why? What for? You are not accepting mother. Good, so what can I do? You don't accept the mother and go to her and tell. He goes again, and second time he has failed to demand. This is the third time he has gone. And he says, looks to the mother, finds the mother, Vidyada, Buddhida, Gyanta, nothing materialistic. Vidya delo, Gyan delo, Shakti delo. He could not demand any of those materialistic things for which he had gone over there. ফিরে এসেছিস ঠিক আছে Ramakrishna Paramahansa sings the famous song Ma Kohi Tara, starts singing, and Vivekananda follows it. Whole night Swamiji went on singing Ma Kohi Tara. This is how he gets into initiation from Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna is now to leave his body. He goes to Kashipur, and in Kashipur, Maharaj Ji has just now said that the talk and conversation is going on about Vaishnava rites. What is the method of Vaishnava puja? Then somebody asked this question to him, and Thakur says three things. Faith in the name, seva to the Vaishnavas, and jive daya. The moment he said jive daya, daya on mercy, mercy on living beings. As soon as he said daya, he went into trance. Samadhi came upon him. He remained in Samadhi for hours together. And then says, when he comes back to normalcy, chi chi chi, daya. Daya? Who are you, creatures of creature? Smallest of the creature? You will do daya? No, no, no. Service. Service to human being is service to God. Shiva Gyane, Jiva Shiva. To this, Swami Vivekananda was listening. He came out with his brother, disciples, brother devotees. Have you listened what Thakur has told today? Yes, I have seen. What did he say? Oh, it's a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing he has given us today. What wonderful thing. So many things he has said. No, he has said, Shiva Gyana said, Jiva Seva. I tell you, my brothers, if I get the opportunity, if I live, I shall explore this word throughout the world. This word, Shiva Gyana said, Jiva Seva, I shall explore throughout the world. And this is exactly what Swami Vivekananda has done throughout his life. Now, how does it begin? Matri Devo. India stands for Matri Devo, Pitra Devo, Guru Devo, Atithi Devo. 4. No, Murkha Devo. Swami Vivekananda says, Murkha. Murkha Deva Bhava means a man who is illiterate. He has to be taught everything so that he is worshipped like God. Do everything possible. That मूर्ख को देव मानकर सेवा करोगे तो क्या करोगे? उसको शिक्षा दोगे ना? When you worship a person who is illiterate, how will you worship him? You will have to impart education to him. Rogi Deva Bhava. How will you worship a Rogi? How will Rogi become Deva? You have to treat him well, so that he becomes Deva. This is how Swami Vivekananda goes on saying 4 types of persons living in the world who have to be served. This particular method carried from Swami, from Bhagwan Sri Ramakrishna up to every individual citizen whom it meets. Now this, you will have to remember. Why? Because you are all IIT students having a scientific background. Don't you see that every man fights 3 types of encounters in this world? First type of encounter that you come across is encounter with nature. How to conquer the nature. Second is encounter with men, fellow men, society men, national men, provincial men, caste men, enemies in the other neighboring countries. You fight with men. For the first and the second, you take the help of biological laws, physical chemistry. For the second, you take civil laws, politics, economics, history, geography. The third encounter you take, it's a fight between yourself and your own man. Your man inside, your man outside. You inside, you outside. Fight is going on. Mahabharata ended in 18 days. Your and my Mahabharata is going on. Human Mahabharata is going on. Ever since human beings have come into existence, since that day to this date, Mahabharata is going on. Good or bad, this or that, to be or not to be, which one to be picked up, which one to be given up, truth or untruth, lie or truthfulness, what will you embrace? Instinctively, human beings are having both the qualities. You can be a liar, you can be a criminal, you can be a truthfulness, you can be a sage. Which one are you to choose? There's no point in saying that unless your thinking develops to that extent, you might like very much that I shall throw out all the clouds so that the rain which is troubling me, the rains go away and I am not drenched. You might think, but is that thinking going to be turned into any action? Can you stop the clouds from coming? What will you have to do? You will have to put the umbrella on. You will have to go to the shade. This much of action will save you from that devastation, from getting drenched. It is your own mental thinking. Are you able to think up to that or not? If a nail suddenly comes to your feet and it pricks you, you are in trouble. What do you think? You think that I will destroy all the nails in the world. Swamiji, he writes a letter to Chamraj Wadia, Mysore king. I do not believe a religion which cannot wipe out widows' tears and cannot stop orphans' wail. We do not only tolerate other religions, but we accept them all. My dear prince, life is short. The vanities of the world are transient. They alone live who live for others. Rest are more dead than alive. Now, this is what Swamiji says about religion. Coming to the fact that Ramakrishna developed such type of an idea in Swami Vivekananda, we have to know what Will Durant says about Ramakrishna. Why does he say so? Will Durant, you know, is a great philosopher, a great logicist, and a great scientist also from the point of view of writing the history and logical books. Will Durant. Now he says, on Ramakrishna, he tolerated sympathetically the polytheism of the people and accepted humbly the monoism of the philosophers. But in his own living faith, God was a spirit incarnated in all men, and the only true worship of God was the loving service of mankind. This is the finding recorded by Will Durant, who writes the books on Ramakrishna Paramahansa and says that God was the loving service, worship of God, true worship of God was the loving service of mankind. Then, the story of Nirvikalpa Samadhi by Swami Vivekananda, you have already listened to from our revered Swamiji today. When this had happened, when Swami Vivekananda, I'll just add only one more word to what Swamiji has already said. When Swami Vivekananda was in the trance and came back from the trance, he went to Thakur and said, Thakur, I want to be in the trance throughout my life. Come back only for some morsel of food so that the body remains. I enjoy that living in the trance. Please bless me like that. Chi chi. Ye kile? Ye kya? Chi chi. I thought you will become a beneficiary. Thousands and thousands of people will come under you and you will give them solace, peace, tranquility. And you are thinking about your own self. No, this is not done. Now look, there is a greater thing there, what you are asking me to give to you. If you can realize God in all that you are looking and seeing and finding, then this will give you samadhi instantly everywhere. Just imagine, if I can see God in you who are taking down notes, I am certainly to be very happy that I am in samadhi, I am seeing God in my presence. Can I train my mind to that extent? That is the only thing. And that's why Swami Vivekananda says that Tat Tvamasi. Tat Tvamasi means thou art that. This is the call of the Vedantic doctrines. And the other is Sarvam Khalavidam Brahma. Verily, all this is Brahma. Anything that we see is Brahma, and anything that we are looking to is Brahma, and whatever we expect to be Brahma, it is you who is the Brahma. This is the two doctrines coming from the Vedantic decisions, and Swamiji writes a poem. He was a great poet also. Writes the poem in these words. He who is in you and outside you, who walks through all hands, who walks on all feet, whose body are all ye, him worship and break all other idols. We did not worship any other thing. We need not worship any other God. We need to worship only who works through all hands, who walks on all feet, whose body are all ye, him worship and break all other idols. There had been enough of the sterile God of solitary prayers. Let them worship the living God, the coming God, the Virat living in all living souls. This is what Swami tells us. Now, deify it, that is the universe, it is God alone. This is what Upanishad tells us. On this, Mary Louisburg in the book Vivekananda in America, New Discovery, says, never before had Vedanta been into a philosophy and religion which included every faith of the world and every noble effort of man, reconciling spirituality and material advancement, faith and reason, science and mysticism, work and contemplation, service to man and absorption in God. This is what Mary Louise says. This is new Vedantic pronouncement made by Swami Vivekananda, and on this, Sister Nivedita, Margaret Noble, who was the closest disciple of Swami Vivekananda, an Irish lady who met Swamiji in London, accepted the Swamiji as Guru, became a Hindu, took the mantra, became a disciple, and became Sister Nivedita. And she says, no institution, no environment stood between him and any human heart. Look at the expression used by Sister Nivedita. Now coming to the total exclusive materialistic theory which is bothering today's youth, we would like to refer to Ludwig Feuerbach, German philosopher, who puts extreme materialistic interpretation of the word man. He says, man is what he eats. If man is what he eats, then this has been taken up by P.A. Sorokin in his book, The Social and Cultural Dynamics. He says, mankind should be grateful to sensate materialistic culture for its wonderful achievements. It has given into man's hand terrific power over nature without providing with it self-control. It is becoming dangerous to mankind itself and all its values, degrading the man to the level of a mere reflex mechanism, a mere organ motivated by sex, a mere semi-mechanical, semi-physiological organism devoid of any divine spark, of any absolute value, of anything sacred and noble. Therefore, Marx also stands for criticism when he only says man is a social animal and his self-regarding impulses work themselves out through channels determined by the social environment to which he is subject. But to this Marx's observation, Ernest Fischer, you know, writes in his book Art Against Ideology, a new alienation is created when power passes by institutionalization from revolutionary organs into the hands of central authority. Therefore, the Marxist theory that man is a social animal and he works only under the social environment has been challenged during his own time by not only him, several other persons. And today you know that in theory and in practice, Marxism, as pleaded, has already been put to severe test, and Russia has failed, and perhaps China is also on the same way. I don't know what will happen another 5 to 10 years after. Then coming to Skorender, senior professor of Dublin Institute of Advanced Studies, in his book, What is Life, he says two things. My body functions as a pure mechanism according to laws of nature. And second thing, I know by my incontrovertible direct experience that I am directing its motions. Hence, I am God. This is the reason he finds out. In his own words, he says, in itself, the insight is not new. The earliest records to my knowledge date back some 2,500 years or more. From the early great Upanishads, the recognition of Atma Brahma was in Indian thought considered, far from being blasphemous, to represent the quintessence of deepest insight, striving of all scholars of Vedanta. After having learned to pronounce with this lips, really to assimilate in their minds this grandest of all thoughts. So he himself relies upon our Vedantic expression of Atma and Brahma. Professor Fritjof Capra, you must have read his two books, The Tao of Physics and Hidden Connections. Now in Tao of Physics, I have taken one paragraph from it. Thus, the physicist and the mystic arrive at the same conclusion, one starting from the inner realm, the other from the other world, outer world. The harmony between their views confirms the ancient wisdom that Brahma, the ultimate reality, without is identical to Atma, the reality within. If this is so, then how is Swamiji wrong when he says, Shiva Gyan se Jiva Seva? If you are an incarnated God, then if I do some help to you, then I am worshipping God. By science this is proved. Therefore, when it comes to religion, Swamiji is putting all religions of the world to scientific test. Look at him. Look at the courage that he had to say in Detroit when he was speaking before a very large gathering. Look at the expression that he has used. I'll just now come back to other things because this is the right moment I should tell you. Is religion, this is Swami Vivekananda's own word, is religion to justify itself by the discoveries of reason through which every science justified itself? Are the same methods of investigation which we apply to sciences and knowledge outside to be applied to the science of religion? In my opinion, it must be so, and I am also of the opinion that the sooner it is done, the better. If a religion is destroyed by such investigation, it was then all the time useless, unworthy superstition, and the sooner it goes, the better. I am thoroughly convinced that its destruction would be the best thing that could happen. All that is dross will be taken off, and no doubt, but the essential part of religion will emerge triumphant out of the investigation. Not only it will be made scientific at least as any of the conclusions of physics or chemistry, but will give greater strength because physics and chemistry have no internal mandate to vouch for its truth, which religion has. No religion came for test. No religion said that test me. It is only Vedantic principles which Swami Vivekananda preached and threw the challenge to the whole world, test it on scientific reason. And Vijit Kapra and other scientists, two other scientists who have gone into this issue, I shall immediately give the name. Mani Bhaumik has written a book, Code Name God. Code Name God by Mani Bhaumik. Mani Bhaumik is a physicist who has discovered laser theory, and laser theory has gone to help the LASIK way of treating the eyes. LASIK rays, this is known as LASIK way of treating the eyes. Now he says, science now shows us that our consciousness plays an active role in determining our actions and bringing out specific manifestations of nature. We have also learned that we are a part of something much larger, which we have referred to as one source, perhaps one sense. Our sense of morality stems from the realization that we are indeed part of something much larger than ourselves. Therefore, our actions should be appropriate to what is implicit in that knowledge. When we act from the realization, we bridge the Cartesian divide of mind from matter, and the wound it caused is healed. Now this takes me to the last scientist about whom I'd like to say. In his book, Social and Cultural Dynamics, Peterim A. Sorokin, renowned sociologist, says the most urgent need of our time is who can control himself and his lust, who is compassionate to all his fellow men, who can see and seek for eternal values of culture and society, and who deeply feels his unique responsibility in this universe. If the conquest of the forces of the nature is the main function of the sensate culture, materialistic culture, the taming of men, his humanization, his emboldenment as the participant in the divine absolute has been the function mainly of the idealistic culture. Now with this, I come to the last part of my submission, that is 19th century science has taken us to the four important theories: the nebulous theory of universe, the atomic theory of physics, the Darwinian theory of evolution of biology, the behaviorist theory of psychology. The essence of all these four taken together is this universe and the planet are have a long process of evolution. Life occupies an infinitesimal of this cosmic evolutionary universe and has sprung out of an accidental chemical and thermal combination. The photoplasmic call manifested first symptoms of life. The germ of life multiplied and evolved into species under the pressure of natural environment till it developed a nervous system. Our thinking and feeling are caused by the movement of the nerve cells of our brains and by secretion of the glands, thus sensible neurosis, life and mind all resolve into matter and mechanical motion. This principle is based on the philosophy of René Descartes and the mechanistic view of Newton, who laid the foundation of classical physics. In the 20th century, science has led by Einstein, who set the relativity theory. Professor Capra explains the theory of relativity in the following manner: space is not three-dimensional and time is not a separate entity. Both are intimately connected and form a four-dimensional continuum, space-time. In relativity theory, therefore, we cannot talk about space without talking about time and vice versa. Furthermore, there is no universal flow of time as in the Newtonian model. Different observers will order events differently in time if they move with different velocities relative to the observed events. In such a case, two events which are seen as simultaneously by an observer may occur in different temporal sequences for other observers. All measurements involving space and time has therefore lost their absolute significance. This is how the relative theory has been explained. Then comes Planck's quantum theory. He says, Capra again explains it. Max Planck found that the energy, heat, radiation is not emitted continuously but appears in the form of energy packets. Einstein called these energy packets quanta and recognized them as fundamental aspects of nature. In this connection, Planck has held in the world of atoms the law of causality has definitely failed. The last scientist to be remembered in this is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. He says, as quoted by Professor Capra, the precise mathematical form of the relation between the uncertainties of position and momentum of a particle is known as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. This means that in the subatomic world, we can never know both the position and momentum of a particle with great accuracy. If this is so, if this is where our science has gone, then shall we be wrong when Swami Vivekananda says that put the religion to test and therefore Aldous has slain. Roma, Mullah, both of them say that Swami Vivekananda has given the whole world a Vedantic, Neo-Vedantic, scientific religion. It is the scientific religion. Anybody who does not accept, it is not accept. We need not bother. Swamiji therefore says, and I shall be concluding after two statements of Swamiji, religion is the science. This is Swami Vivekananda. Religion is the science which learns the transcendental in nature through the transcendental in man. This science of religion is based on the analysis of human soul. It is no creed. No man is born to any religion. He has a religion in his own soul. Stand up and reason out, having no blind faith. In true religion, there is no faith or belief in the sense of blind faith. To believe blindly is to degenerate the human soul. Be an atheist if you want, but do not believe in anything unquestionably. You not only hurt yourself thereby, but injure society and make danger for those who come after you. Stand up and reason up. Have no blind faith. Religion is a question of being and becoming and not of belief. With this background, when Swamiji says in the Parliament of Religions, the Christian is not to become a Hindu or a Buddhist, nor a Hindu or Buddhist to become a Christian, but each must assimilate the spirit of the others and yet preserve his individuality and grow according to his own law of growth. If the Parliament of Religions has shown anything to the world, it is this. It has proved to the world that holiness, purity and charity are not the exclusive possession of any church in the world, and that every system has produced men and women of the most exalted character. In the face of this evidence, if anybody dreams of the exclusive survival of his own religion and the destruction of the others, I pity him from the bottom of my heart and point out to him that upon the banner of every religion will be written help and not fight, assimilation and not destruction, harmony of peace and not dissension. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. I'm sure we'll take this as food for thought. Now I request our court coordinators and Dr. Payam Joshi to present a token of love to Justice Basu.